Okay, under your job codes, what I tend to do is that use my master sheet, and anytime I'm doing a new development, I add the codes over there. Now, some of the developments that were already done, dusted prior to I created lead developer, because at the time I was doing a lot of Google Sheets, not spreadsheet. I don't want to say that because I never use Microsoft Excel. Somehow I've just fallen in love with Google Sheets, and there is no calculation that you can't do in here that you can do. In fact, you can do a lot more in a Google Sheet than what you can do in Microsoft Excel. But anyway, it's just my personal opinion. I still use Microsoft Excel every now and then, but mostly I use Google Sheets. So over here, anytime I'm starting a job, I would come in, put in the name, the address of the job, and give it a short code. And that short code is 447. There's no rocket science here. It's just 94 Station C stands for 94 SS. 447 Main Street is 447 MS, and so on. And what this does is, so say for example, if I wanted to put a new address here, let's say 3 Rider Court, and let's just say 3 Rider Court. This is a new one. I would go in and call it 3RC, and what will happen is that it will create an email address for me, and that's the email address that I can use, because that email address is created from this section over here. So if I change this to lead developer, this should go and change all of this into lead developer, which it did. So that's why the name of the company over here in all small caps. Wow, was not caps, no caps, sorry, all small alphabetical letters, no space or lowercase. So if you put that over there, you will be able to generate these email addresses. Now, you might not have any use for them at this stage, but I promise you in future I will have an add-on where you will have a use for them. So everything that I'm building, I've already built it or tested it. It's just that it hasn't been converted into an add-on, and depending upon how this goes, and depending upon the people who start using it, and I'll be able to create this into a full-blown development management system. So yeah, that will happen in future sometime, depending upon how people accept or take this, or you start using a lead developer. So if you change those things, it will start showing up over there. Now, where is this section used? This section, we use column A. We use column A in over here, because when you set up your project, you have a drop down, and you have to select this drop down and select, like for example, I just added 3RC, so I have to go and select that. The reason it is the same, this has no use whatsoever in lead developer. The reason is that it doesn't really need it. However, lead developer plus will let you track your projects as and when they unfold, as and when they happen, based on actual transactions from your bank. And at that stage, this is important. That is why this has been already added to lead developer, so that lead developer plus just becomes a plugin that comes at a later date, and no changes have to be made. And so is this section over here, which is bank name. It has no use for lead developer, but if you were to do this development and then track it financially, you would need these details later on. So let's go back into our master data. It's fairly straightforward. Think of a code that you want to give it. Think of the address you want to. It's easier if you just have the description or as an address and so on, but you might have a totally different system that you might want to use. Go ahead and use that. Stages, again, is the same thing. It is not used in lead developer. You can leave it as it is, but it will be used in lead developer plus, and that is why it's already in there. so that it can be taken care of at a later date. So we've got land acquisition, town planning. Town planning is basically going through your zoning department in order to get through a permit for the site, whatever you want to build on it. Building permit, you might want to change their names, because in US I know the council is known as the zoning department, so that's where you get your permit for the site, and then you go through all the construction documentation and then get a building approval. Over in Australia it's called a building permit or building approval. Then you've got your marketing and your sales, your construction, your settlements start. Settlements are basically when your sales are closing. So anybody who wanted to get a pre-sale, who sold everything, so just after the construction, that's the period when you've already sold your units that you've developed and people are paying and settling on them. And project span, start to finish, is I use that stage because there could be some expenses that could occur from the start of the development right till the end of the development, or you don't know where they're going to fall in. So I created a new cost code for them, or a stage for them, called it project span. S to F stands for start to finish. Nothing geeky over here, it's just plain simple words. You can change them, and you only have to do them once, because we are still in lead developer master data. All this thing has to be done just once, and that's our lead developer master data. And in the next video we'll start getting into the main lead developer feasibility sheet, and we'll conduct a full feasibility, and I'll show you how it can be done, or what each element is, so that you can go and do your own feasibility.